peeking out from beneath the stylish scarf I had tied around my head to protect my curls from errant breezes. I reached up to tuck the loose tendrils back into place. The sunlight returned a few moments later, the mountains returning, and a river appearing that snaked through the valleys. It glinted in the brilliant glow like a silver ribbon ready to be wrapped around a pretty present. I had never been this far north in the state, which would surprise anyone when they learned that half of my family had settled down in these mountains. It hardly felt like a loss, though, as I had lived in one of the most populous cities in the state, where there were always things to do and see. Why would I waste my time in a little town with nothing to do when I could be in the city, going to the latest shows, or eating at the most exclusive restaurants? I shook my head. This was not helping me feel any better about my decision to leave home in the first place and relocate all the way out in Cobbsville.
Wow, Mummy, isn't it beautiful?
I glanced over my shoulder and saw a mother and daughter drawing near to the window as they made their way near the front of the car. The little one, dressed in a cherry red dress with matching hat, laid her white-gloved hands flat against the glass. It certainly is a pretty view, dear, her mother said, her green A-line dress pressed and pleated in a way that told me she cared as much about her attire as I did. She and I met one another's eyes, and she smiled at me, but I quickly turned away. The two continued down the aisle, disappearing through the doors, likely making their way toward the front car. I blew out the air between my lips like a horse. Given her sense of style, the woman and I would have likely gotten on well, but I was in no mood to make polite conversation right now, not with all that lay ahead of me and behind me. I only had a short amount of time left in this blissful, solitary silence. Soon, I would be living under the same roof as other human beings for the first time since I was a kid. At 30, I had enjoyed years of living on my own, living the way I wanted, but that independence was about to come to a sad end. I heard a grumble behind me and turned to see a middle-aged gentleman sliding to the end of the row before rising to his feet. He held his tan briefcase in a tight grip, his eyes sweeping the aisle as if it might be hazardous. He caught me staring and gave me a nervous smile. I tried to return it, knowing that it barely twitched up the corner of my mouth. I didn't remain in that position, turning away to keep my face forward once more. He walked past me, smelling of cigarette smoke and some kind of strong cologne of balsam pine. I wrinkled my nose as he passed before he sunk down into the last seat of the rows near the door. "These train rides sure do seem long sometimes, don't they?" the man said. I looked around, confused. He wasn't. No. He was. He was talking to me, wasn't he? I shifted in my seat. Wonderful. Yet more attention I didn't want or need from another stranger. Still, I gave him a tight smile. "Yes, I suppose they are, mister." "The name's Clark," he supplied quickly. "I see. How nice to meet you," I said, deliberately not reciprocating with my own name. I turned to look out the window again. Perhaps he would take the hint that I wasn't interested in whiling away the rest of our trip with small talk. He cleared his throat, adjusting his maroon tie. His brown suit seemed about 3 sizes too big, and the hems of his chinos near his dull wingtips had been rolled up. He pulled a handkerchief out of his suit coat pocket, dabbing at his forehead, as well as the bald spot on the back of his head. I wonder who he's going to meet that makes him so nervous. My heart sank. I knew that I should be happy that I was going to see my brother again. It had been years since I had seen him, and he was the only one of my siblings that I could claim to be remotely close to. We were nearest in age, and as children, we had been able to get along better with one another than with the rest. Craig had offered to let me move in when I was looking for a new place to settle down, which had surprised me, given the fact that we had so little to do with one another these past few years. It wasn't mere generosity that motivated him, he had explained. He was in need of something like a housekeeper, and since I was family, he thought we would both benefit from the arrangement. With few better options, I had agreed. Though now that I had made the decision and followed through, I wondered if it was the wisest choice. I glanced down at the plum dress I had chosen that morning, the last of my purchases in Liberty City. I tried to brush any lingering bitterness away. I couldn't regret my decision.